Welcome to this episode of On the Record, your official source of information from Bossier Schools.
Just call him Maverick. Yes, our own Superintendent Jason Rowland goes through an abbreviated version of flight school to get ready for the adventure of a lifetime, flying aboard a B-52 on a mission with the airmen from Barksdale Air Force Base. Ladies and gentlemen, please buckle your seatbelt and be sure your seat is in an upright position because we are ready for takeoff. Hi, everybody, and welcome to episode 38 of On the Record with Bossier Schools. I'm Sonia Bales.
I'm Jason Rowland, and we are literally taking our podcast to a new height today. So buckle up and let's enjoy the ride. Before we get there, though, I was at a retirement last week, and somebody was complimenting OTR. And the first thing I asked them, I said, "Are you subscribed?" And they said no. I said, "Well, this is what I want you to do. Subscribe up to the channel,
smash that
like button,
right.
And let's make sure that you know that when every episode that lands, it lands in your YouTube, it lands on your phone where you can go back and watch what's going on behind the scenes at Bossier Schools."
Speaking of landing, have your feet touched the ground yet after this experience that you had just recently at Barksdale?
A once-in-a-lifetime deal, once-in-a-lifetime opportunity is what I'll say, and something I'll never forget. Being an airman for 2 days was, I wouldn't trade it for nothing. A great experience.
Yes, well, I'll tell you what, in just a couple of minutes, we're going to take you to flight school as we go rolling, or at least in this case, flying with Rollin, and I promise you, you do not want to miss that. But before we get to that, I just want to, float this startling statistic by you. Did you know that missing just 2 days of school a month can have serious consequences for a child, not just from an attendance perspective, but also an academic one?
That goes for every student, whether you're in kindergarten or in high school. Attendance is one of the things that we find is a key component to academic success. When a child misses 10% of the school year, which is just essentially 2 days a year, they're missing so much more than just academic content. There's a lot of things that go into developing consistent attendance habits, and that is one of our focuses this year. That's one of my 3 core concepts that I believe is critical for our district to move forward is daily attendance, the improvement of daily attendance, and building good habits in our students.
As we know, absenteeism has become a serious problem throughout the nation in K through 12, as well as right here, in our own backyard at Bossier Schools. So with September being Attendance Awareness Month, we visited with our Student Services Director, Yolanda Jefferson, to take a deeper dive into the problem.
So, if you're missing excessively due to even doctor's appointments, or if you're taking out-of-town trips during school time, every absence now is looked at as an important absence, whether it's excused or unexcused. So when students are chronically absent or just miss 2 or 3 days, they're getting behind on skills that they need to learn. And so trying to play catch up is hard, not only for the student, but also for the teacher and other students in the classroom. It's hard to play catch up when you're absent like that. We do have things in place, for RTIs to try to help students with intervention time, but it's not the same as being there when the skills are first taught. And it's even harder when the students get to high school because we're on that block schedule. So this almost like semesters in college where they take those 4 classes every day for about 90 minutes. You get behind, that's like 2 classes in 1 class period. You miss 2 or 3 days in there, it's almost like missing a whole week of school. And as they get older, we have to also still be involved. Don't let them go just because we think, oh, they're middle school, they have it. When we start seeing them being tardy, because those tardies end up affecting the students also with absentees and truancy. When we see them being tardy, find out what's going on. If you still need to be very involved and active when they're in high school, you do that.
Good attendance is something that we at Bossier Schools feel very strongly about, and we feel like it's very important, and it starts at home, as Ms. Jefferson said.
Our parents play a critical role in the daily attendance of our students. And look, I understand that a lot of times parents have to leave to go to work before the students even get up or leave to go to school. But having a process in place to ensure your student is in school is something that we have. We have that on our app where if a student is not in attendance, then our schools send out an alert to the parents. You know, we have some alarming statistics about attendance across the country. Now, it's not that way in Bossier Parish, but approximately 26 to 30% of students nationally are listed as chronic, that have chronic absentee problems.
Wow.
That is 15% higher than before we experienced COVID. And so in Bossier Parish, the numbers aren't that high, but they are considerably higher than before COVID. And we want to work to get those numbers down. We believe the one of the best things that we can do to improve the school experience in Bossier Parish is simply this: just make sure our kids come to school, and then the rest of it will take care of itself.
That's right. And forming good habits and routines, because I mean, that doesn't serve them only in school, but also obviously when they become adults in the workforce. I mean, we all have to be responsible and be at our jobs on time.
Well, you know, one of the things that I look at when we're in the hiring of employees is I look at their attendance rate. The last page on an application is I want to know how much work have they missed at either a prior stop or in a previous profession. It's something that's very important to me because we gain an idea about what that's going to look like when they come to work for Bossier Schools.
That's true. You know, take the military, for example. There is a reason that being punctual and present, you know, are both so important. And you recently had the opportunity to, I guess, kind of observe that in action.
I did. You know, on our first day of flight school, we were taking on a lot of information. It was literally drinking from
overload.
A fire hose. And so I'm in a classroom with about 25 20-something-year-olds, and of course I'm in my mid-50s.
They could all be your sons, yes, and daughters.
And I just paused at just a moment and observed the room, and something struck me. Every single one of them were locked into the instructor. No one was looking at a phone.
They didn't even have them on their desks.
No one was talking across the aisle. Everybody, eyes were straight forward. They were locked in, and they were following the instruction to a T. And I thought to myself, man, if our students could see this and see what really intentional discipline looks like, man, what a difference that would make in the educational experience.
I know that you mentioned that you now, in hindsight, wish that you had served. And this really gave you the opportunity to kind of do that, if you will, for a couple of days, and why this mission meant so much to you when you were able to, you know, just be there on base.
To be an airman, air quote, airman for 2 days was absolutely, it was an honor to do so. And watching how they work, you can see so many of the traits that have been built into them since these airmen and officers joined the Air Force. The discipline, the intentionality, the focus, the work ethic, even on the trip, even on the flight, on the mission. The crew worked the entire time. There was never a time. Nobody stopped for lunch, didn't get a 15-minute break, none of that stuff. They worked and they were so diligent and intentional and so professional in every single aspect. And then, of course, I know we're going to share a lot of the conversation pieces later on, but it's something that I have not forgotten, and I continue to talk about it, whether it be to my Sunday school class or whether it be to different groups, anywhere that somebody will listen about that experience, I'm willing to share it.
Well, for 30 plus years, you have been in the role as an educator. So this was really neat because the tables were turned on you and you became the student in the classroom. So buckle up as we take you along flying with Rollin.
I didn't land where I needed to land, but we got close enough. We got on the ground. We're halfway through with our training day, and we've done parachute safety, went through 2 different classes about what it means, what happens if something goes wrong. And so learned a lot. Just got fitted for the flight suit, got fitted for the jacket, got fitted for the boots, so got fitted for the gloves. So they were talking about the fact that sweat a lot down here on the ground, but once we get up on Thursday, it's going to be pretty cold. And so that's the purpose of the coat in early September, right? But, parachute training was awesome, and didn't exactly hit the mark, but landed safe. And so I've gone through some of that, and understanding what they're talking about is, for an educator is different. And I was looking at the military guys around the room, and they're just, nodding their head, got that, know what that means. And sometimes the letters in the alphabet, and then the numbers they use. Apparently everybody in the room understands it, but I'm trying to figure out, what ABC means. So anyway, it's been a challenge, but it's just a neat experience and a whole lot of fun. And so I just have a tremendous amount of respect for those guys that we were in class with today, because I watched how they paid attention, and they realized the things that they're talking about are critical for their safety, for their survival, and for their mission. It's just an honor to be here today, be out here on base, and really kind of experiencing the life of what a military person goes through. The trainings, the detail, everything is accounted for, everything is in order, everything is in place, and really to see, kind of how they go through their day has really been enlightening. In this environment out here, every word that's said is measured, is taken in, and you could tell every airman here in our classes today was intent on listening and learning. It was very impressive. One thing, Sonia, that I was so concerned about during flight school was that as they were going through all the checklist of everything that was to happen, I wasn't writing initially I wasn't writing anything down because all the other guys in the classroom wasn't either. And so I started taking just a few notes, a few little notes about do this, do this, do this. And then I found myself, Tuesday night and Wednesday going through the checklist because they understood all the terminology as where it was foreign to me. And so I was trying to remember, left, right, buckle, green apple, red dot. I mean, just trying to make sure I remembered all the things you were supposed to do in sequential order. And I thought, man, these guys here, they are really intelligent because they just nodding along and acknowledging the fact that they understood all that and knew that already. And so the learning curve for me was stiff. I wanted to make sure, there was a lot of work done in prevention and survival, which kind of made me think, whoa, do we have to bail out all the time? So, no.
But you want to know how the parachute works just in case you need to use it, right?
We learned that.
And see, going back, those foundational skills that they've already had, before they actually were in class with you that day. I mean, they build on each other, which is why it's important to be in class, be present, be punctual every day. So great experience. And I tell you what, next episode, that's the one definitely to watch because it is wheels up as Jason flies with the mighty 96 Squadron from Barksdale Air Force Base.
A lot of those guys on the crew, though, they were in junior ROTC at one time.
Yes.
And our junior ROTC program is something that's very, very important to me here in Bossier Parish. And we are working hard. We are working hard to build upon this. We have a new military pathway that'll come out next year, and the opportunities that you find in junior ROTC cannot be replicated in anywhere else. The leadership skills, the service skills, the discipline, citizenship. Those are things that you may not get taught in algebra or biology or your other courses, but you can learn them on our high school campuses right now if we'll just get more and more kids involved in JROTC.
Which is why also it's not surprising that nearly a third of all students who go through some sort of JROTC program throughout the nation will eventually enlist in the military. And you know, JROTC is funded by the Department of Defense, and Bossier Schools program is positioned to grow even larger come next year, particularly like you said, when the state implements the military pathway that students can start pursuing.
And we have things that we're working on behind the scenes right now that I have one focus in mind. I'm targeting junior ROTC and creating a district-wide training facility out on some property that we are just about to close up on. And with this support, with the support and the leadership at Barksdale, we are in lockstep about seeing JROTC in Bossier Parish grow, not only at the high school level, but also at the collegiate level as well. You know, I want to thank you and your team for going to Washington, D.C. A week or so ago, where you were able to speak with some of the nation's leaders about our goals and visions that we have here in Bossier Parish, about some of the things that we find that are very important, not only to our school system, but to our community. And you and the chamber going to D.C. to meet with the key influencers that can help us do that. Look, we really appreciate that. Sonia did a lot of stuff while she was in Washington, and she has filed this report for us to have today.
Welcome back to On the Record with Bossier Schools, and greetings from our nation's capital. As you can see, we are right outside the Capitol steps. We, for the last couple of days, have been pounding the pavement here in Washington, D.C. with the Bossier Chamber on their annual legislative fall fly-in.
Yes.
Lisa Johnson is joining me from the Bossier Chamber. She's the president and CEO. And first of all, we just want to thank you again for including Bossier Schools on this very important fly-in.
Well, you're absolutely welcome. It has been a joy and an honor to have y'all on our trip for many years now, because it's important to show our members on the Hill the importance of public education and the relationship that we have back home to take care of their children.
And it has paid off in so many different ways over the
Yes.
years, with all the different projects that have come back to our area as a result of making our delegation aware of all of our needs, particularly with Barksdale. And that's one of the key messages that we brought to the Hill this time. Bossier Schools is partnering with the leadership at Barksdale Air Force Base to try to develop a leadership readiness training complex in Bossier City, just right off of Shed Road. As we know, we're in a recruitment crisis for our military. For the first time last year, the Air Force missed their target mark in 24 years. We know that JROTC is a very valuable pipeline when it comes to military recruitment. In fact, a third of all students who go through JROTC will enlist in the military. I think that was a surprising fact, and that we were able to share, in fact, with some of our lawmakers.
Absolutely. They were also quite surprised, you know, that some of them didn't know that the mark had been missed, but then whenever you shared the number of students that we have interested in JROTC, they were like, oh, really?
Yes.
And that's a testament to our school system.
It is, because Bossier Parish has a large JROTC program.
Yes.
12% of all of our high school students are actually in a JROTC program. And we know that, again, they are more likely, at least a third of them, to enlist in the military, which is so important given the recruitment situation that we are in right now.
Yeah, I'm here to tell you, as a community leader and the director of the Bossier Chamber, especially during graduation time, to drive past all of our high schools and see the signs out in the yard of where the students are going to the different universities, 2-year and 4-year, but then to see those signs that say they've enlisted in our armed forces for the security of our nation, you know, it just makes your heart warm. And it's very exciting. So we're proud of all of our students, and really especially are proud of those in the JROTC program.
So we have planted the seed, if you will, asking for their support to be able to back us on this project with the Leadership Readiness Training Complex. And we're hoping that, you know, it will bear fruit in the coming year or so, because, you know, everything takes a while with the fiscal year 26. But
it does.
We think that we made a lot of inroads these past 2 days.
It's important that you and other members of the public school system are up here on the Hill with us to share your message, because I can talk about it and I can share the message on a regular basis, but when they hear it from you, they know it's the true testament of what is needed, and you can offer those personal stories that they're looking for. Again, we so appreciate y'all coming with us. It is such an honor and always a great time to have you up here. We truly are walking all the time. We are getting our steps in for Bossier Parish Schools.
We have Band-Aids all over our feet right now. Lisa, thank you so much again. And for now, we're going to send it to break. Greetings again from Capitol Hill.
Are you ready to join a team of game changers but do not know where to begin? Start your journey with Bossier Schools by visiting www.bossierschools.org/careers. There you can search and apply for job openings in various departments within our school system. We can't wait for you to start, stay, and soar with Bossier Schools as we strive to win the day.
Well, we have covered a lot of ground in this episode, so that is a wrap for now for On the Record with Bossier Schools. Next episode, again, it is wheels up as Jason zips up his flight suit. He boards a B-52 and even pulls a few G's, and he'll be taking us along for his ride with the 96th Squadron.
Not only did we cover a lot of ground, we covered a lot of air. How about that as well? So look, it was truly an incredible experience, and I can't wait for everyone to see what the footage that we have from there. It's another reason that you need to subscribe up to the channel, make sure you're tuned in, and then every time that we have an episode drop, that notification will land, and you can be a part of the On the Record with Bossier Schools family.
All right, we will see you in 2 weeks. Have a good day.
This has been a Bossier Schools production. Join us next time when we go On the Record with Bossier Schools.